There's a question that I asked a couple weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, as AOC was providing information on how illegal immigrants could avoid detection and deportation. In a new viral video, Rep. Ilhan Omar is advising Somali immigrants not to comply with ICE deportations. Considering everything we've already seen from the Trump administration, I actually think there is a decent probability that people like AOC or Ilhan Omar could face criminal prosecution. I think the chance is still low. But Donald Trump is a man who is shutting down USAID. He is offering buyouts to the CIA. He is firing FBI agents. It's no holds barred. He is not standing back and just saying, do as you please. Not in this term. And it actually is a crime to induce or encourage illegal immigrants to stay. Let me clarify. The law says that if you tell an illegal immigrant you should stay here, you can be prosecuted for that. Now, we've not really seen stuff like this because you don't think that a politician, that someone with executive authority is going to enforce a law in this direction to arrest members of Congress. But it's not just about members of Congress. There are many activists on the left who are providing resources, aiding and abetting illegal immigration. We saw people marching in the streets in LA waving Mexican and Colombian flags. So at some point, there's going to be a question about whether or not Donald Trump is going to say, look, it's a crime. Will they do anything at the state level? I don't know. What would Trump do? Honestly, I have no idea. But if you start seeing this active resistance pop up in straight defiance of the law, at what point would Trump or maybe Pam Bondi just be like, yeah, it's a misdemeanor charge. You know, you're going to get a fine. It's like, we're not going to put you in prison over this, but we are going to take it seriously. Now, I feel, I honestly, I don't want to believe something like that would happen. But to be fair, no one would have expected that Trump would announce the takeover of Gaza. So we'll see. Let me show you this story with Ilhan Omar. This is inducement. I mean, this is crazy. And I'll show you the law, and we'll talk about it. Before we get started, my friends, head over to timcast.com. Click join us, the link in the description below. We got these amazing Green Room episodes. And I cannot recommend Mary Morgan's talk with Terry Schilling more because we're getting rave reviews. People are saying it's really good. And I was standing there playing Magic the Gathering as they were talking. And I chimed in just a couple times because it was a really good conversation. I wasn't mic'd up, so I shouldn't. But they were talking about having kids, surrogacy, OnlyFans, corruption. It's really interesting. And a bunch of our members have hit us up saying, yo, we got to do more of these. This is a really, really great, uncensored, behind the scenes, real conversation. And that's it. I'll put a link in the description below, timcast.com. But let's get back to the news, talk about what Ilhan Omar is doing. From the Post Millennial, Rep. Ilhan Omar, in a recent interview, told Somali immigrants not to comply with immigration and customs enforcement as the agency and other federal immigration authorities continue to crack down on illegal immigration in the country. Quote, I advise Somalian people that if ICE attempts to question you, you are not obligated to answer their questions. Just state that you were advised by a lawyer not to answer questions. Disclosure of your name, immigration status, and the mode of entry is not mandatory. Learn the laws and prepare yourself. Now, hold on. There are some questions about the First Amendment. Everyone deserves to know their legal rights. If Ilhan Omar is simply saying, if all she said was, hey, know your rights, just know your rights. Here's a resource on the available laws, know your rights. Some people make the argument, you're here illegally, you have no rights. That's not true. The Constitution applies to all people, okay? Because understand this. Let's say that you are walking down the street, American citizen, and ICE says you have no rights because you're illegal. You're like, whoa. I'm not illegal. And they're going to say, too bad. You do have rights. And the issue is we aren't going to operate under the assumption that someone's an illegal immigrant. We have to have a warrant. We have to have proof because otherwise U.S. citizens get wrapped up in this and we don't want innocent people to suffer. That's how it works. So, yes, illegal immigrants have rights. They really do. I know a lot, maybe not as many as you know, some people might expect. But the issue is not that, let me put it this way. It's not that they have rights, it's that American citizens have rights. And unless there's a way to prove someone's, if a cop came up to me and said, prove you're a citizen, I'd be like, no. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, what? I'd be like, I'll give you my ID. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an American. It's happened to me before, actually. I was on a bus from San Diego to L.A., and CBP boarded the bus, and it was really funny because they do this. One of the tactics they use is they ask you quick-fire questions. And so the dude walked up to me, and he's like, "You have an ID?" And I was like, "Yeah." I gave it to him. He's like, "Where you live?" And I was like, "Well, I just left Chicago." And he's like, "Chicago, what's your favorite baseball team?" And I laughed, and I was like, "Dude, I don't watch baseball. I'm a skateboarder, but I grew up on the South Side, so I'm supposed to say Sox." And he's like, "All right." Like, I get it. You're an American, and he looked at my ID and said, "You're fine." I got no problem with that, man. I understand that they're trying to enforce the law, and I really don't feel that it's that intrusive to be asked some questions. It's like, what's your favorite baseball team? Right, because the argument, the idea is that if someone came here illegally, they're not going to know. And I was like, I'm from the South Side, so we say Sox. But I was originally from the North Side, so we're supposed to say Cubs. I don't know, man. I'm not a baseball guy. I do like the White Sox, I gotta say. South Side Chicago, right? But I don't think it's that big a deal. So anyway, I digress. The issue at play is, when does AOC and when does Ilhan Omar break the law? Post Millennial says, this comes as immigration authorities are cracking down on illegal immigration across the country. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey told illegal immigrants in his community, quote, "I want to speak directly to people who are undocumented. We love you. We care about you. In the city of Minneapolis, we will stand up for you, and we will do anything in our power to help. Because you're not an alien in our city. You're a neighbor." Now in Minneapolis, we have what is called a separation ordinance, Frey added, saying that the city will not gather information on who is an illegal immigrant in the city. And that separation ordinance states clearly that our city officials, our police officers, and beyond will not be gathering information showing who is and who is not documented. It's one thing if they say we're not going to comply, but let's take a look at the law. I asked my good friend Grok. Grok knows all. I used to use ChatGPT, but GPT sucks. I'm sorry. Grok is, look, I mean this seriously. I'm a big fan of what Elon's working on, and AI freaks me out, but Grok nails it. Grok 2 it's really, really amazing. I got to say, in doing research, they're not always correct, but these AIs, these large language models, really do help you source information much faster than Google does. Here's what it says. Harboring or concealing undocumented immigrants, 8 U.S.C. 1324. It's a federal crime to knowingly harbor, conceal, or shield from detection undocumented immigrants. This includes actions like providing false information to law enforcement or strategies to avoid capture or deportation. The question is, will they try and claim that having these meetings where they tell illegal immigrants what to do to avoid detection, will they consider that to be shielding them from detection? Maybe that's a long shot. However, encouraging or inducing illegal immigration. If your advice encourages or induces someone to enter or remain in the U.S. illegally, you might also be liable under this statute. And there it is. Now, there are First Amendment considerations. This we understand. Take a look at this from DOJ. 1907, Title 8, 1324 offenses. Alien smuggling, transporting, harboring, encouraging, or inducing. Take a look at this. It makes it offense if for any person to encourage or induce an alien to come, enter, or reside. Knowing. That's it. That's it right there. AOC and Ilhan Omar have broken the law. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So is Mayor Frey. So have all of these Democrats. Now, the question is, will Trump or the DOJ actually go after them? I doubt it. But let me stress this again. If you are encouraging an illegal immigrant to reside here, that is a crime. If someone is here illegally and you say, do not leave, crime. If you say, here's how you can avoid detection and stay, crime. What will be done about it? I don't know. But considering Donald Trump ain't playing around, I wouldn't be surprised if certain law enforcement, at minimum, had some civil or criminal penalty for this. I'm wondering if they're just going to say, let me look at the penalties on this one. It says it's a statutory maximum penalty is, let's see, for violating this is a fine under Title 18, imprisonment for not more than 10 years or both. That's serious. With regard, okay, so that's smuggling and conspiracy. But let's domestic transportation, harboring, or inducing. is a maximum imprisonment of 5 years, unless the offense was committed for commercial advantage or private gain, in which it then goes up to 10. Yo, I doubt it's going to happen. I really don't think so. But let me just stress again for all of you. We are not outside the realm of possibility that the DOJ or Trump says to members of Congress, inducement is a crime. You think Tom Homan's going to sit around and be like, I'm going to let these people induce illegal immigration as we are trying to deport criminals? I don't think so. It's heavy-handed, though. So you got to do things in increments. The question of whether or not they're going to want to make a move like that, I'm going to go and assume they probably would not, because that is a bold move to make. But ladies and gentlemen, everything's on the table right now. Everything is. And I know what? I know a bunch of you, and I know many Trump supporters are going to say there's got to be enforcement. If we allow all these Democrats to literally break the law, I showed you the law. It exists. It is a criminal offense to do this. How do we allow them just to break the law? We can't. So there's got to be something. I think the reasonable thing is a fine. You say, hey, look, $500 fine for doing this. Something really light because you can't do this. And maybe then they'll say no. But it worries me that we're at a point in this country where even though it's illegal to do, it would be a shock to our culture and system if Ilhan Omar or AOC actually got criminally charged over inducement. They are inducing. That's a fact. So what do you do? I'm going to wrap it up there, my friends. Smash the like button. Become a member at timcast.com. We got more segments coming up for you, so don't miss out. And thanks for hanging out. We will see you all in the next segment.